talk about regular spiritual maintenance a lot, like meditating consistently, releasing sacred rage, speaking about your feelings, so things just don't build up energetically. But the same goes for digestion and physical matter. So every single year I do some routine maintenance in this way by cleansing, and this isn't the kind of cleanse where I restrict my food. I'm trying to lose weight, I only drink liquids, and then I have a complete spiral at the end of it and just eat tons of the food that I wasn't supposed to be eating. It's been 3 years that I've been doing this consistently. So one is a yeast cleanse and the other is a parasite cleanse, and I just want to put good things into my gut. So this yeast cleanse is a simple protocol using this Renew Life Candy Smart cleansing program. I'm sure there are other yeast cleanses that you can do, but it's just a pill and tincture every single day. My kind of guidelines for doing this cleanse is not having any processed foods and especially processed sugars. I really want this to be more of a lifestyle pivot and change for me where I just stop eating processed sugar in general. Yeah, in this video, I just wanted to share with you what I do, what I'm eating, and how it's feeling. Let's get into it. I made a lot of macro bowls throughout these 2 weeks, and I love them because you can get a diverse amount of veggies and nutrients in here, and they are the vessels through which I get to eat my sauerkraut, which I love. So I'm starting off with this one, sauteing some lion's mane mushrooms in coconut aminos, garlic, and onion powder. And then I'm also just heating up a local simple veggie burger and getting my kale ready. I love kale because of this sauce, and you've probably seen it on my channel before. It's just tahini with coconut aminos, vigorously stirred with some apple cider vinegar, and then I add garlic powder and nutritional yeast and just water to get the right consistency. It is so yummy. It's like tangy and nutty at the same time, and massaging this into the kale just makes it so soft and so easy to eat. And then I just plate this all together with some quinoa, the mushrooms, and the veggie burgers, and then a huge dollop of sauerkraut, which is my favorite. And it's never too late to start creating a habit of breathing deeply and finding presence before you eat, maybe saying some prayers and really taking a moment to calm your nervous system before you put food inside of your body. Another yummy breakfast recipe that I made, it looks kind of interesting. It's a split mung bean scramble, and I'll link this recipe down below, but it's just soaked mung beans blended with some nut milk. I used homemade oat milk, and then a lot of garlic powder, a lot of nutritional yeast for that nuttiness and B12, and then a lot of salt and pepper. Blend that all together with some baking powder, and I sauteed onions and peppers. You can also do fresh cherry tomatoes, just blister them up, and then pour in this little batter of sorts that can be kept in the fridge for a few days, I will say. And you're going to want to use a nonstick pan for this. I keep forgetting to take mine out of storage, but I added spinach on top and made it more so into a scramble. I added some sprouted hummus and some sauerkraut with it, as well as some hot sauce, and it is so good. I love this stuff. The combination of the kraut, the sprouted hummus, and the hot sauce is just unmatched. This would taste really good with a spicy agave, kind of like hot honey thing as well. Oh my goodness. I am really craving sugar right now. It's like my daydream. I've been saving recipes on Instagram and Pinterest of different vegan cookies and brownies and treats, and I'm really feeling some withdrawals. Not like I was ever super attached to sugar, but I think I was eating it pretty regularly. Like if it was around, I would eat it, and now it's not really an option for me, so I feel some deep desires. But overall, I also feel this immense amount of energy come back to me. I feel a lot less lethargic. Like I don't need a nap throughout the day. I have clarity and sharpness and focus, and I'm just more positive. Like I'm just generally happier and less prone to moodiness. I have been doing this already for about 2 weeks before I started actually taking the yeast cleansing pills. So by the end of this video, it will have been about a month of not eating sugar. And so, yeah, week 3 is really a struggle right now. I am also not demonizing any of my cravings, or every time I go to the grocery store, I let myself know it's okay if you do eat that vegan gluten-free cupcake sitting by the register. Like, everything is available to you, but is it going to make your body feel good? I am choosing out of love not to, rather than restriction or punishing myself or being like, no, you're not allowed to. It's like everything is welcome, but tune deeper into your body. Like, is it actually worth it? Acting out of love overall is the only thing I have space for. When it comes to food, I just am not allowing any really intense narratives about restriction or punishing myself or demonizing foods. It's just like, is that medicine for you right now? And aren't you trying to show up a little bit differently? And I've been listening to that, and it feels a lot gentler, and I know that might not work for everyone, but it definitely works for me. Every time I go to a store, I kind of pick up a little goodie. I'm like, oh, I'll just get a little kombucha and maybe some crackers and some chips, but I pretty much only have the fresh produce section available to me now, so instead I'm getting sugar snap peas and cucumbers and peppers to eat. It is saving me money, and I'm just realizing how much food is packaged at a grocery store. Okay, I'm gonna finish eating this and I will see you soon. This taco bowl variation is among one of my favorites because there's so many yummy flavors in it, and this is an extremely lazy way of making this bowl, but I'm starting off by shredding some king oyster mushrooms, which you can do with a fork. I squeezed some lime on top and then added a lot of taco seasoning and just mixed everything together. I also roasted some corn and some onion and pepper on the side while prepping all of this stuff, and you can go a lot crazier with the seasonings, but I started to get some beans ready, and I once again just used a lot of taco seasoning on there. And then I also added this bouillon powdered seasoning mix, which is really flavorful and delicious, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And I also cooked some rice, which is so yummy with tomato paste and half an onion chopped into there while boiling, but I just made simple, kind rice, and this is what it looks like coming together. Beans, rice, corn, peppers. Can't really go wrong. I got the mushrooms on there, and then I added even more rice because I was hungry, and I made this fresh guac with red onion, tomato, and all the guac things, and then put a huge dollop of sauerkraut right in the middle. Mix all that up. It is so filling and hits the spot. I am full all day after eating this, and it's just really satisfying and delicious. So this is one of my favorite macro bowls, and this is another variation I made of it using a little coconut sauce that I'll have written down below. But here's a little recap of the 2 weeks. I went to yoga quite a few times, Mysore style Ashtanga yoga, and I also went to the gym a few times. I don't have a gym membership, but whenever people I know are going, I just hitch a ride, and I'm literally wearing my pajamas because that's how last minute this decision was. But I love going to the gym very sporadically because I really go hard and I sweat so much and I love it. This one day, my friend who works at a donut shop gave me free donuts, and I did not eat them. They are vegan, and I gave them away, and I'm really proud of my willpower there. I was regularly taking my pills. It's really simple and easy to stay consistent with these because it's just a morning and night routine. And I went to the farmer's market for most of my veggies, but I've been way more realistic at the market about what I can eat. So I just got some salad greens and some chard. They had this yummy mango sorbet, which I couldn't even finish because it was just so rich, but it was only mangoes, and that felt really good. That hit the spot for sure. And I also got some okra. That's my little farmer's market haul, but it was Halloween and my birthday throughout this period. So a friend of mine had a Halloween party, and he has a sauna and cold bath in his home. So I was in here for like an hour and a half straight, just going back and forth. And it is so healing. I just wish I had access to this all the time, but it was really purifying to sweat all of my toxins out and then sit in this cold plunge challenge. I think it was 30 degrees and I could not stay for very long, but I did build up my resilience over time. And there was a donut eating contest. These donuts came back to haunt me and I had one. I was like, you know what? This is a lifestyle change and having a vegan donut is okay every now and then. I just needed to do it and it was delicious and I didn't feel horrible after, like in my body. I didn't have a sugar crash. I went to this Halloween party, which was insane, and danced my booty off all night. Would I have been able to do that without eating that little sugary thing? I don't know, but that was my one slip up. And okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming. I have been loving having yummy drinks in the morning, and instead of using some random sweetener, I've been using dates to sweeten my drink. So this is a green tea latte that I'm making using homemade oat milk that is really easy. I just blend oats with water and strain it and then blend all of this together. It's really delicious and really simple. This is so good. From now on, just please blend your drinks. It makes them so frothy. Although be careful if you are making your own homemade oat milk not to overblend. I recommend experimenting with a little bit of your oats initially to make sure that you know exactly how long you need to blend it. I've made huge batches of oat milk and overblended them, and then they were really goopy and just unusable. So there's some trial and error, but it's so worth it, and no sacrifices need to be made. Another meal that I made regularly is this kitchery, and I also love air frying tofu. That was really a good addition. I had some kimchi radishes, and I just like to squeeze lime on top of my little lentils and some wilted cilantro. This is so good. And I would have used kraut, but all I had was this random daikon radish kimchi, and it did hit the spot. I really just tried to have something fermented with everything that I ate. And my partner was also doing this cleanse, so he made these yummy juices. One is a freshly squeezed noni juice, the other is coconut water and a lot of ginger, and the last one was just a pineapple juice. So I made some concoctions and it was so strong tasting, but I really started to get into making ginger shots again. It's really easy to make these, and I can't believe that they're like anywhere from $2 to $15 at a store, but you can really meal prep these. I would keep them for up to 3 days, but obviously drinking them as soon as possible, as fresh as possible is ideal. But you can add anything that you want to this that feels, you know, alkalizing and good for your gut and good for your system. So I'm probably just gonna do one orange because I am trying to lower the sugar, even natural sugar. I've been trying to have one serving a day because, fun fact, I went raw vegan for a certain period in my life, and having that much sugar, even just more than like 2 servings of fruit a day, really threw off my gut. It was awful. I was bloated for months after. So I am just all about even natural sugar, having like a healthy, balanced amount of it and not going too crazy because things can get out of balance really quickly. Okay. My friends came over randomly and it was so sweet. I just wanted to share this because this is so nourishing, such a big part of my life. And getting friends who are really into physical touch really changed my life. We just hold each other and cuddle so much, and it's so joyful and so safe and good for my nervous system. But this is how the ginger shot turned out, and I decided to start making this with orange juice with the pulp in it, just 1 orange, and then mixing in the turmeric and ginger after for all the fiber. It has been about 1 month without processed sugar. I've been filming this video for a while, but I have to say I don't have any intense cravings, and I am just so satisfied with all of the natural fruit sweeteners that I have found. Es todo bien, and I just wanted to film a little disclaimer update on my perspectives and views on veganism. First of all, I'm not a nutritionist. I just really believe in listening to your body, and I do get regular blood work, which I find super helpful so that I can really see if everything is in balance. And every single time that I've gotten my blood work done for the past like 5 years, I haven't had any deficiencies. You can also check your thyroid and I believe your hormone levels, so that could be a great practice to try once a year getting some blood work done. But I am not dogmatic in any area of my life. As you can tell, I am not in a place to preach or thinking that I'm right about anything at all. I just know the wisdom that works for me, and I think that there's no one size fits all when it comes to diet, lifestyle, spirituality. I just wanted to say that I share a lot of vegan recipes, but that's not me preaching about it or saying it's the best lifestyle or would work for everyone, because I don't think that is the case. It is such a personal choice. Diet is such a personal choice, and it took me a while to realize that what someone else is eating literally might not work for me. And when I first went vegan, there were so many vegans online, and I tried all of their respective diets, and a lot of them didn't work for me. I went high carb, low fat, I went raw vegan, I went raw till 4, and none of that worked. What worked for me was just eating in balance and eating healthy versions of everything that I craved, eating fats, eating proteins, eating carbs. So what I'm intending to share is just some recipe inspo, just some meal inspo if you do want to eat a veggie filled dish. And I personally love the way my body feels eating the way that I do, and I haven't had deficiencies, and I do take vitamins and B12 every single day. And I think that there's so much nuance in the conversation about veganism being the most sustainable diet in the world, because I have so many indigenous friends or friends who are homesteading who, for example, will help an overpopulation of deer in an area by hunting a deer and feeding their whole family for the whole winter. And they're also growing their own food. So they're fully living off the land, not causing a detrimental impact on the wild animals around them. And they're not supporting the transportation of goods all throughout the world by buying in grocery stores. They're just fully living off the land. I think that factory farming is really unsustainable, but it also makes food accessible to people in low income areas. I grew up on that because my parents could afford it, and I just think that we're all doing the best that we can. And it's not all black and white. Depending on the way that you type something into Google, you will get completely different answers. So you could be convinced why veganism is the greatest or veganism is the worst, why eating meat, raw meat is the greatest and why it is the worst. But ultimately, hopefully you can find a good source of information, and also just tune into your body, look at your own blood work. There's so much context that people don't see. Like if you've struggled with disordered eating, maybe cutting out big chunks of your diet isn't going to be healthy for you. And I think that attaching to a label also isn't healthy. I just like my veggies. That's what I tell people if anyone's ever like, oh, is it okay if I eat meat around you? Because a lot of my friends aren't fully vegan. And I'm just like, yeah, I just like my veggies. It's not my business. That's how I feel. I'm just minding my business. If you want to find a more intense vegan voice, I'm sure you can on YouTube. I'm just not going to be that. I just hope that you love yourself the way that you feel is right, and the way that gives you the most energy, the best digestion, the clearest skin, and also aligns with your ethos, or finding ways to do that. Ideally, everyone would have a farm and chickens if they eat eggs or chicken, and a few cows, and have that be their lifestyle. But it's just incredibly inaccessible for people at this day and age. And I think that colonialism just has a really big part of context in all of this story, because indigenous people were eating animal products in a sustainable way for a very long period of time. That's a whole other video. You can be of the highest service when you are feeling most optimally and you are full of vibrant life energy. So I hope that you're finding things that bring you to that place. And just a reminder that all that we're taking in through our senses is food, is nourishment. And I hope that you're filling your eyes and your ears and your senses with just beautiful, high vibrational things that make you feel good. I know this will probably be confronting for people, or maybe piss some people off, but this is just how I feel. And I love having a nuanced mindset around most things, because my opinions are bound to change, and other people have opinions that feel really right for them, and that can take place at the same time as mine, even if they're different, and I'm just not tripping about it. So yeah, I love you, and thank you so much for being here and joining me. Let me know what other videos you would like to see from me, and I will see you in a video soon. Bye!